That is really a concern going forward with this because the ground is so saturated that a tree that might take a really large gust to take it out isn't going to take much now because there's so much water there.
There really is, and the water with no place to go. John telling us earlier that we're still in for some significant impact from the amount of rain that Sally is dropping on not only Baldwin County now, but it'll in northwest Florida and all along the Gulf Coast.
And we are getting damage across the damage reports across the Gulf Coast this morning from Dauphin Island to northwest Florida and certainly Baldwin County in between. In Mobile, we spoke to the arborist for the city of Mobile.
Oh, yeah.
And he talked about the number of trees down. Now, just 9 p.m. to when we talked to him, somewhere in that 6 o'clock hour, if I recall, 70 to 100 trees down and over some major roads. So as you're considering whether you want to step outside this morning, go somewhere, Cottage Hill Road has tree down,
yep.
Old Shell Road, Spring Hill Road, Dolphin Street, major roads in Mobile blocked by trees right now.
And those were just the ones that were called in by someone. I mean, there may be, he sort of knew that there would be more calls going
Absolutely.
in of people in residential neighborhoods and other streets, side streets that are blocked by trees. So we're expecting that is going to be an issue as we move forward with this work in progress that we call Hurricane Sally that is still churning along.
Such a prolonged event. Our meteorologists said this for days, that this is not going to be a storm that, well, look, we saw it as it was coming. It moved so slowly. Well, it's doing the same thing. It continues to move slowly, a very prolonged event. This is a live look at Fort Walton Beach this morning.
Right, and you can tell some of the palm trees there bent, a lot of water. A whole lot of water, and that is one of the telltales of this particular storm is that storm surge and mixed with rain. The amount of rain that this storm is dropping on areas is just it's just ridiculous, but it's also unrelenting, and it's still doing it.
Hours ago, meteorologist John Nodar told us the rainfall totals that we are seeing with Hurricane Sally are rainfall totals we may never see again in our lifetime.
Yeah.
They are that significant. And leading up to Hurricane Sally, it was said over and over again that this could very well be a historic flooding event.
Now here is some of the damage we were talking about as we talked with the arborist for Mobile. This is MOFFETT Road. You see that large tree, and it just, you know, it's just been uprooted basically and just pushed over. You'll hear in hurricanes past, you'll hear tall pine trees that snap at the top. They just snap. You'll hear it all over as the wind is blowing, but those large water oaks and live oaks and trees like that just push over and the root ball just comes right out of the ground, and it's especially after the ground is so saturated as it is now.
Meteorologist Colleen Peterson has been in Daphne this morning, and Bill, as we were talking to her, she said that some point this morning she heard a loud snap, a loud thud, if you will, didn't know what it was, and then as daylight gave light, she was able to see that there was a giant, I think she said it was an oak tree,
yeah,
that had fallen not far from her at all and taken the whole giant root ball with it.
As you can see, that tree was on MOFFETT Road. We've got signs, power lines down. This is Airport Boulevard. The view here, it's a video shot after the sun has come up. This is near Bel Air Mall. The stoplights dangling from there. Wires there in the middle of intersection, so that's something, that's a hazard.
A hazard, yes, and yet impressive that the stoplight's still working, Bill.
It is still working.
I take note of that, and I think it's still showing.
The question
green
is,
and
are you gonna now? Do you have to pay attention to it if it stays red?
It's probably a good time to remind people that if you do come to a traffic light that isn't working, to treat it as a four-way stop or two-way stop, however many stops there are.
And what does that mean? It doesn't mean you get in the intersection and direct traffic. It means the person on your right has the right of way. So you just let them move on, and that's how you negotiate that. So.
Certainly a lot of traffic hazards out there this morning.
This is video, I'm familiar with this. This is a video sent to us from Lee Graddick, who's a friend of mine on Facebook. He took pictures. This is on Section Street between, I believe, Nichols and Kirkland Street. He just sent a couple of more pictures in too that